I don't want to lead when I am with a realtor or anybody else. That person needs to have high information about their business. But if I keep giving them marketing strategies, then we're not a good fit.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Liz.
And this is Andressa.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Invest Her Show. Excited about today's topic, right, Andressa? What are we talking about?
Should we work with a realtor? It's controversial. I like controversial themes. So we can get into a debate here, especially when Liz and I don't agree.
Love it.
Well, Liz, we have many controversial subjects. I don't think we disagree on this one. Thank goodness. Otherwise, you guys are going to see like a freaking fight happening here. So the question here is, should you work with a realtor? And there's no doubt in my mind, and I think you will agree with that. Otherwise, interrupt me and say, hell no, don't speak about that. The question is not, should you work with a realtor? I don't think that's the real question. There's no doubt in my mind that every single investor should work with realtors, several of them. The question is, which one should you work with? And that's what I want to dissect here a little bit more. Because I think, Liz, at the beginning, right? And many of you might relate to it. We do a great job finding the property, running the numbers, get the rehab, good to go. And then list with a realtor that you probably, if you're like me, you probably wrote the listing description or collaborated right with it. You talked to the photographer, you vetted the pictures, and you made sure it was all good to go. And then it crossed in my head, wait a minute, it sold in 2 days. I can do that.
Sure.
I'm going to get a license, right? Many people might say, why am I paying the commission, right? Mm-hmm. And it did cross my mind in the past. Although I do have my license, I do not want to be a realtor. That's a full-time job. I think I sold one property to a friend of mine, and I was like, for the love of God. And it's just so nice.
I mean, I love you, Andressa.
So nice.
I really do love you dearly. I love you dearly. I just cannot see you being a realtor. You'd be like, what do you, I just could not, like, honestly, like, it's just not going to be my top 5 things that you should, I'll never tell you to be a realtor. I'm sorry. I'll tell you not.
Imagine me being a freaking realtor, getting to a house and people say, I don't like this color. I say,
there's no way.
Oh, the freaking color. Forget about it. So my friend, she's so nice, right? And I think I saw 2 or 3 properties. That was enough for me. I was like, this one here, I will go for this one because of this and that. Like, there's nothing to, why are we still looking for anything? It was a great deal. I think we got lucky also, right? Because I was like, I can't make it. Yeah. I cannot make a 5th house.
Yeah.
We're talking about it. But that being said, right? It did cross my mind that I could do my own deals. The question became, is there where I want to spend my time? Is there where I should spend my time? Is that the best of my ability? The answer is very clear. No, I don't want to go to open houses during the weekends. I don't want to show houses to several people. I just don't want to have conversations. No, the answer is no. So instead of thinking, if that's crossing your mind, instead of thinking, I can save money, I think that, I wouldn't say wrong, but that's not where the attention or the thought process should be, where you should invest your time. That's the question to ask. That being said, Liz and I think we got really, really good at understanding who we want to do business with.
Yeah. And the value that an agent brings to the table, right?
Exactly. We want to know that. So I want to share with you guys here, what can you do in order to vet who you're working with and observe what comes around? Because it's all about the psychology. It's not, I I met this person at a networking event. She or he seems very lovely, friendly. We get along. Like none of this qualify. I am sorry, right? None of that qualify a realtor, in my opinion. Just a quick disclaimer there. So I'm going to share with you guys here five strategies that I would highly recommend for you to go through in order to find the right person to work with you. So the first thing that Liz and I do is we research the area and we look at who are the top sellers here. I want to work with those who are the deal makers, the movers and shakers in the area. I don't want to spend my time with nobody else but the top 5. And then I get in contact with them. And then I go to the second tip, which is schedule a meeting with them. And Liz, do you remember one of our deals that we did that? And I think one of them was late. And I was like, that one is already out.
Where's the no button?
That's already out. Yeah. And that is a non-negotiable for me. Think about it. Like a surgeon. A surgeon is running late for a heart surgery. That cannot happen. A realtor being late to an appointment, to me, is the same thing. That cannot happen. It's your business. It's
especially your first one, right? You've never met them before. This is your time to enroll. This is your time to sell yourself on the quality of your being an agent, right? And then you show up late. That's a no-no.
Listen, I get it, because guys might be thinking, all the realtors like, you don't know what I had to go through to arrive on time, or what the hell, right? Absolutely. Things might happen. And when it happens, you give people a heads up. But one thing that you cannot build is a reputation of being late. That's different. Being late as a one-off, that's different than you are constantly being late across the board. And you know who you are if you're listening here. You're not just late to appointments. You're just late to everything else. And yes, I am judging. I am judging, because you're going to miss an opportunity to do business with an investor if you do that. If that's important, don't waste anybody's time. Arrive on time, and on time is about 15 minutes earlier, in my opinion. You can't be prepared running late. It doesn't add up to me. Right? So when somebody is late and did not give a heads up and did not apologize, first thing before saying hello, I apologize. Thank you for waiting. Like that's like the bare minimum to me. And then you got to make it up, right? If you still you got to make it up, and you can't be late or anything else. Otherwise, it's just like a no. So let's talk about the third thing. I don't think I asked those questions, Liz, about marketing before, as I really want to know now. When they talk about marketing, I want to know the nitty-gritty of what it is that they are referring to. How are you different from everybody else here? Show me, send me, email me a proposal for your marketing campaign, and I want to know by bullet point. I don't want to know, we're going to use all our resources in our database. Vague. What do you mean resources? What channels are you talking about? What do you mean by database? How many people you're talking about? Tell me that you have the clientele in your database that is the avatar that is going to buy my property. Otherwise, we're just fluffing. I don't do fluff, right? I don't do fluff. And I need to understand, besides you, who is part of your team? What am I going to be dealing with? Because I don't know about you, Liz, but have you had experiences where you thought that you were hiring that person, but then you ended up talking to an assistant or to a junior level? Have you had that experience?
Absolutely.
Before?
Yeah. And that And then you kind of feel blindsided, right? Because what you agreed to is different than the experience you're having with the team. It's a big gap.
Mm-hmm. And then you're like, well, but I'm going to be the front, but they're going to take care of different things. Well, so let's clear that up from the beginning. The most important thing that I would say, 100%, I think all realtors that are scaling and doing bigger deals, they have to have an assistant. They have to have a team. I completely agree about that. I don't care about the admin portion of it or who's the closing or none of that. What I really care about is that who's going to negotiate on my behalf. And that is the most important thing. And I want to talk about that. How do you normally negotiate? What is your style of negotiation? I want to understand. Otherwise, I'm going to get like freaking frustrated if the person that I'm talking to and I are not on the same page. And I just want to do a disclaimer here. I don't want to lead when I am with a realtor or anybody else. I don't. I want to be led. In order for me to be led, that person needs to have high information about their business and really have a pulse and show me that they have a pulse on it. But if I keep giving them like marketing strategies, then we're not a good fit, 100%. The last tip that I would say, last strategy, it's one of the most important of all. Setting the right expectations up front. What do I mean by that? When I'm going to hear from you, is it hearing from you by an email at the end of the week in terms of, oh, this is the progress, or this is where we are at with showings and offers, and how can I, what are we shaking hands over here? Are we gonna discuss offers? What is our bare minimum? Like, what are you authorized to negotiate so you don't, quote unquote, have to bother me with small items, right? What do I prefer in terms of reports if we're doing business for several properties? How can you organize that? I think that, setting expectations is the right thing. I don't want to get a call at 8 p.m. I don't. Unless there's blood, or what is it? Is it blood or fire? Or blood or
both are bad.
Blood, bones, fire. Unless it's that, the offer can wait until in the morning. I don't want to be discussing that during dinner. What are your non-negotiables, Liz?
Yeah, I think establishing boundaries is key. If they're working with us. I think having that upfront conversation, because I think naturally agents are going to be so easy. They're going to want to serve, and they're going to do it all, and they work on the weekends, right? So saying that, the 9 to 5, most agents don't really work from. So we know that, obviously. And I'd say, I think a big boundary for me is how people give me information. When realtors and agents send me text messages with a bunch of print and verbiage, like I can't see it, number one, because I'm freaking old. Number two, I'm like onto something else. I'm like, I want that information like in an email so I can read it when I have time to read it, because I'm not sourcing deals all the time. I have multiple focuses in my life. So that's a boundary that I need to start sharing. I have a call with a realtor on Jessa for the project we're working on. And that's one of the boundaries I'm going to share with them. Listen, I really don't want information sent to me via text if it's heavy text, because that's a boundary. That would be one of the biggest things for me right now. And then obviously, I'm not going to be as quick to get back to people nights and weekends. It's just usually family time.
One thing that I would also say, we had this conversation in another one of our masterminds lists with our EXP team. We want our realtors to have boundaries as well.
Yes.
I don't want to work with a realtor that is available at all times.
Agreed.
I really don't. I do value professionals that have boundaries. They're clear with those boundaries. they share those boundaries and expectations, it tells me that they are very serious about it. People that are available at all times have little value to me. They don't understand the value of time. Therefore, they don't value themselves. So why should I?
Yeah.
So we have this conversation with our team, and we say, okay, let's establish what are your boundaries. So what I'm sharing here is our boundaries with all of you listening, but we encourage all the realtors that are listening and the investors that are listening, like put it on paper. What are your boundaries? And if you don't have one, pause. create them. As you level up, you're going to do business with people who have boundaries, who have very clear expectations. And you might be thinking that it might be weird that they're setting the boundaries. The boundaries, my boundary has nothing to do with anybody else but myself. And same thing for you. Your boundaries are yours. It's not to prevent me or anybody else to affect you. It's about you respecting you, your time, and the life that you want to live. And we stand for that. Okay. Share with us on our Facebook group community. What are your boundaries? Do you have one? Do you have a hard time setting those boundaries? Thank you so much for listening. Bye.